What's up, gamers? This is Proto, and welcome to another episode of Like or Dislike, where we look at some of the latest games coming out, give you a little bit of the storyline, our pros and cons on the game, while showing you some gameplay all at the same time. And we are looking at Anthem. Now, this has been a game that people have been waiting for practically a year for. So I will try to remain as biased as possible, because I ain't gonna lie, I was on the hype train for this game as well. But let's go ahead and dive into it. Now, in Anthem, you play as a freelancer doing odd jobs to get by. When you get contracted by the government to stop an organization from controlling the Anthem of power, so they can't control the world. And the premise, that's basically the game here. And this is supposed to be a game that never has an end to it. So that's the basis of the game. I'm sure as more expansions go on, we'll probably have more things that we have to worry about. But at the core, that's what the core of Anthem is about. Now, this is an open world third-person shooter looter game where you're always grinding for better and stronger gear. So think of it along the lines of Division, Destiny, Destiny 2. You're always trying to get better gear, better perks, better rolls on your stuff. So think of it as all that. Now, you get around this world using suits called javelins. And right now you have 4 types. You have one that's all around, which is a ranger. You have a melee up close type, which is the interceptor. You have the Colossus, which is your heavy type that can take a lot of damage. And then you have the Storm, which is kind of like your mage type that can cause a lot of damage. But hopefully they'll be adding more in the future. Each one plays different. It has its own unique set of moves and ultimate abilities. So that is definitely good. I was worried that they all just basically play the same, but each one you have to learn how to use their moves and how to work with them. So it definitely lets you find out which one you work with best and go with that. Now, Fort Taurus is where you live, and it's basically a hub where you get all your missions, you customize your javelin, and you progress the story. Now, the fort is pretty much dead in my opinion. You pretty much just go there to get missions, update your stuff, head on back out. Now, there's people in the fort that you can interact with, and you can make decisions while talking to them, making choices. And some of those choices actually do help out towards the story, but it's not like a lot that you want to be indulged by. Now, some of the characters that you meet are interesting and worth talking to. Some are annoying, and if you've been playing it, you probably know which one I'm talking about. Now, the lore of this world is scattered in and out of the fort, so be prepared to be doing a lot of reading if you want to get to the deep core of the story, because there's a lot of good information that explains like the history of what's going on, how the things get to where they are now. Just like I said, get prepared to do a lot of reading behind it. Now, you can customize your javelin extremely well, which that's something I like. You can customize it with different paints, decals, armor pieces, and weapons. Now, I gotta give a big disclaimer when I explain this, but you can buy additional paints, decals, and armor pieces for real money. But you can grind and earn the in-game currency pretty decently, so you don't have to spend real money unless you want to. And they actually have a little page where you can buy armor packs and materials. Honestly, if you just grind in the world, you can get it. Like, I've bought at least 4 pieces of armor, and that's just from the currency I made from the game. I haven't spent any real money in this game whatsoever. Now, like I said, collect those materials. You can also collect those materials to craft new weapons and support items for your javelin to use. Now, there's not too much big of a variety of weapon types and names right now. Right now, there's about 2 to 3 different weapons for each type, and they pretty much keep the same names as they move up from being common all the way to legendary. So hopefully they'll add some more weapons, more weapon types in the game as it progresses. And actually, when you come back from missions, you actually have a separate hub area of the fort that you can go to if you want to basically resupply and go right back out if you don't want to head into the fort and talk to people. So I definitely like that. I definitely took advantage of that when I was just ready to just go right back out and do missions over and over again. And that's pretty much the game. So that being said, let's jump into the pros versus the cons. Alright, starting off with the pros. The first one we're going to look at, the combat in the game is overall fun. It's definitely enjoyable. Mixing up the different weapons that you have, using different abilities, using your different javelin ultimates, it definitely makes the combat fun, especially when you have like a team that has different javelins and you're all using your ultimates, you're all using your weapons together. You can make a lot of destruction. So that's definitely a plus in my book. Second pro we're going to look at, the main characters of this game are developed well. Now, the other characters that you run across, not so well, but the main characters, and I really don't want to get too much into them because I don't want to tell too much of the story. In my opinion, they are developed very well. They're the ones I actually care about and worry about, and I actually give a care about. Everybody else, I really care less. And the last pro we're going to look at is the Javelin customization. They did very good letting you customize this Javelin. I probably wasted at least 2 hours just playing with different paints, decals, changing the texture style of the Javelin's colors to make it look exactly how I want. So that is definitely a plus in my book. So if you really want to get it customized how you want, that is going to be the thing for you. And with that, let's jump into the cons. Now, the first one we're going to look at, and I might harp on this one for a minute, too many load screens. When I say there are too many load screens, there are literally too many load screens in this game. Of course, you got the load screen bringing you into the game, which is normal. You've got a load screen bringing you from the hub going into the world. That's perfectly understandable. But then you have load screens where you are going from different places in the world, which I don't understand. Like, why you need a load screen just to open the door? Why you need a load screen to go into a certain area on the map? Why can't you just go into that world? I mean, I'll use the example of Division. The only time you really see a load screen in Division is if you're going into a safe house. Otherwise, your whole hub of what you're doing, you don't really go into no different load screen or anything. So I don't understand why we have all these constant load screens. And then there's another load screen that I'm going to bring up on number 3, which is like bugs me a lot. But let's go to number 2. This game is very repetitive. This game is extremely repetitive. But if you like looting, if you like looter shooter games, you know they're repetitive. You know the combat will keep you going, but you know that grind is what keeps you going. But if you're not into that, the repetitiveness could turn you off because you're basically doing the same thing every time you go out the fort. You're either saving lives, you're taking lives, or you're recovering stuff, or you're doing a mix of all 3. So if you don't like that, or if you get bored of that very easily, this ain't gonna be the game for you. And number 3, the last one, you have a forced load screen to go to your current team. And how it works is when you're doing a mission, if your team is ahead of you, they will force load you to go to wherever your team is, and it'll give you like a countdown to get there. And if you can get there within the time, you won't do the load screen. But if you don't, you'll be force load, and that can get annoying, especially if one person in your whole team is ahead of everybody and it forces load everybody to where you currently are. I don't know why that's in the game. I personally think that is the stupidest thing to do, but hey, maybe it's trying to make everybody just progress with the game. My thing is, you're in an open world where you can pick up resources while you're doing it. Let people do that and then let them catch up. If they don't catch up, they don't catch up. They don't get in on the rewards at the end. But don't force everybody to move over to the next ring just because one person is trying to go through the mission as fast as they can. But that one's like my last personal gripe. Now, that's pretty much it for the pros and cons. Overall, I'm generally liking the game. These load screens are kind of like getting on my nerves a lot, but I'm kind of tolerating it. But overall, like I said, this game isn't for everybody, and keep that in mind. If you're not a fan of Division, if you're not a fan of Destiny, if you're not a fan of looter shooter games where you're constantly grinding, where there's really no end game to a sense, it's not going to be for you. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Have you already got the game? Are you thinking about getting it? If you have got it, what are you liking about it so far? What you don't like about it? How do you guys feel about the load screens? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We post videos of things going on in the gaming and tech world. We do reviews on some of the latest gaming and tech that's out to help make sure you're getting the most for your money. We do top 10 of the newest games coming out every month and so much more. Make sure to follow us on our Facebook, our IG, and Twitter pages so you can keep up to date with what's going on with us here at the Average Gamer Crew. If you want to reach out to Infamous Ty or me, we love talking about gaming, so don't be afraid to hit us up. Catch us streaming on Twix and Mixer. You can catch Infamous Ty on Mixer and me on Twitch. But this is Proto, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.